All right, how y'all doing? It's Elijah Rain. It's nice. Okay, so my backstory. Okay, first of all, I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in Chestnut Hill Hospital. Okay, I was raised in Georgia, Valdosta and Howard, Georgia, parts of Georgia. I was raised. I wasn't raised in Atlanta or nothing like that. I was raised in the country. I was raised in the racist part of. I was raised in the racist part of Georgia, matter of fact. But I had some really good elementary teachers. I had really good. I had some positive influences, and then I had some negative. Um, I had some negative type of interactions. But more importantly, I learned to grow. By the time I got in North Carolina, I was a little more comfortable because I um I was a little more comfortable because I got away from all the things I was embarrassed from my past moving. So it was a way for me to make new friends. It was a way for me to forget all those old things that done happened. And for starters, when I was growing up, it was mostly just me and my mother. Like me and my mom, like we was really tight. We was really best friends when I was coming up. And I got in a lot of trouble. I was a mischievous child. I was moving around too much. I was getting into trouble and stuff like that. I always got in trouble, and I got whoopings, spankings, whatever you want to call it. And more importantly, I I had a hard time coming up learning why I couldn't get it right. Because I was subject to mental illness, especially when I turned the age of 19. But as I was growing up, as I was a child, I just noticed I was making mistakes. I couldn't stop making mistakes. And by the time I got like 19, I realized I was subdued to bipolar disorder and schizoaffective disorder. Anyway, that's what I was diagnosed with. I mean, a lot of people tell you, "Oh, don't let that be your, don't let that phase you. Don't let it control you. Don't let it that name that label you." So that's what most of my childhood was like. Just constantly making mistakes, making mistakes, making mistakes. And but for me, what I really like about my childhood is that I learned a lot of lessons. I was raised in a nation. Um, I learned a lot of lessons on. I learned a lot of lessons on how to conduct yourself out in public. So it almost seemed like I learned the right way to do. For every mistake I made, I learned the right way to do things. So, uh, you know, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't act too bad sometimes in public, but sometimes I act bad like at home a lot because I was more comfortable at home. So, I had a lot of history messing up, so that's probably why I'm so polished now because I done made a lot of mistakes. I done made a lot of bad choices. Sometimes I remember coming up, sometimes I would be mean to people and I wouldn't even mean to be. And, for me, I'm a Libra, I get along with like almost everybody. But when I'm not comfortable with myself, that's when people kind of get that discomfort treatment. And so that was actually most of my childhood, just making a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of friends that I really love, but then again, because of the mental illness, it heightened my excitement, and so it made it seem like sometimes I would make friends that weren't really friends, but I didn't know, and stuff like that. So you got to protect yourself when it comes to mental illness, but it's all good. But that is my. I said it was gonna be 15 minutes, but that was my 4-minute recap of my life story. Growing up in Georgia, and well, I can make a part 2, because growing up in Georgia, there's some things I want to tell you guys about that. A lot of cool stuff that I want to tell you guys about. But all right, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and I'm out.